Hey everyone, welcome back to Simplify Podcast. I'm your host, Zach Kaminsky. No intro music for now. We're going to start off with sort of a serious topic. I'm joined by my co-hosts, Mason Kling, Kent Vanderwood, and we felt that it would only be appropriate to open up this week's show talking about former Pitt safety Damar Hamlin. I feel if you don't know by now, we'll just give you a quick rundown. On Monday night's game against the Bengals, Damar Hamlin basically collapsed on the field, was down for 9 minutes, was transported to the local University of Cincinnati hospital, where we didn't know his condition, how he was doing for a couple of days, but the news came out today. I believe the story was he was administered CPR and resuscitated on the field. They did not have a heartbeat on the field. Super scary moment. I personally had to stop watching the game and to turn it off, but we got the good news today. He is awake, responsive, and we didn't want to release an episode until we knew everything about the situation. But I mean,
it was super scary situation. But big shout out to like all the staff and everything that were so quick to administer the CPR and kind of figure out what was going on, because that was probably the difference in this situation.
They did say that. It was, I mean, first of all, also shout out to the University of Cincinnati hospital staff who were, like, one of the most professional ways to go about it. There wasn't a lot of, like, rumor mongering or, like, reports on Twitter. Everything was sort of an official press release either from the UC hospital or the Bills. Really kept all, like, the guessing and everything out of this situation. But yeah, as you said, they also, I think their press conference today, today's Thursday, they named a Buffalo Bills trainer. I forget his name, but they said, yeah, he was administering CPR on the field, and because he did that, Damar Hamlin's, like, recovery was possible. Like, It would have been a lot worse, and I mean, already it's sort of like a miracle recovery. We don't really know what exactly happened, what caused, a loss of circulation, but it was great to see the NFL, college world all come together around.
Literally everyone came together. One of the coolest things to go seeing from how scary it was immediately from players on both teams kind of reacting on the field, tears in their eyes, people praying, but they came together immediately, and it stayed that way from there on out, and everybody had good wishes. You heard everything about his foundation and all the good he was doing, and how that, I don't know what that's up to now.
So yeah, his Chasing M's Foundation, which is a GoFundMe, and we'll link this in the notes of the show and in the tweet. But Chasing M Foundation, this is from the official page, is being used as a vehicle to bring lasting impact to his community. Supports toy drives, back to school drives, kids camps, and more. And this is all locally in Pittsburgh, in I believe McKees Rocks.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's where he's from.
Right. So the original goal was $2,500. It is now up to $7.5 million, which is, let me do the quick back of the envelope math, but it's something like 2,000 times the original.
It's a lot of money. That's a lot of money.
I really think that in the moment, everyone felt really helpless seeing what happened on TV. We just had to put some sort of goodwill somewhere, and to see the outpouring of support is really amazing. To see him okay is amazing. I mean, this is a player that, I mean, I don't know about the listeners, but all three of us, we went to school when he was there. So,
and he picked Pitt over, he could have gone to, he's a Pittsburgh guy through and through, grew up there. Could have went to a lot of other big schools. I think he had offers from Ohio State. I'm pretty sure he had offers from Notre Dame. But he's like, no, I'm going to stay home. I'm a Panther. So it was.
He had over 40 offers. He literally could have gone anywhere he wanted to.
He was
not only he wanted to stay home, but it was a lot for his little brother too, which is awesome. He wanted to give his little brother a role model to look up to and be around. So really just a stand-up guy.
Yeah, and I mean, first thing. A report earlier today, the first thing he asked when he woke up was, did we win? That's a dog right there,
that's a
baby.
Guy.
That's a football guy. That's a dog. We love you for that, Damar.
And one last thing, I guess, before we get to the fun part of the show. But Damar Hamlin, more than anything, was one of Pat Narduzzi's first big recruits. He was part of a really big class that ended up, contributing over the I believe he graduated in the championship season, right? Mm-hmm. So he was part of that class, that defensive class that got them to the ACC championship, and he really changed the demeanor of this program. He was a great man at Pitt, and all we can say is we're thankful that he's still with us, thanks to the UC doctors, and we're hoping for recovery and return to normalcy for Damar.
Yeah, stay on that upward trajectory of recovery that he's kind of on right now.
Yep.
Yeah. Awesome to see the good news today, but yeah, hopefully just continue to see more and more, good news.
Ending on a high note, let's get to the actual fun part of the show, shall we?
Yep.
Kenny's in trouble. He's going to run. He's going to get the first down. Don't sleep on those legs. Oh, he faked the slide. Sauce time. The Pitt Panthers have pulled a stunning upset over the West Virginia Mountaineers.
And Johnny Majors gets a ride across the field.
All right, and welcome back to Simplified Podcast, the fun part. I didn't ask you guys before. Mason, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. Our last episode was the drunkest all time. This one just might be the soberest of all time. Dry January.
We're all doing Dry January as a podcast. I actually, the other day at work, I was like, I need a beer. I went to the fridge. We have like an 18-pack of Millers there. And I put it down. I was like, wait a minute. I can't drink this. It was like the third day in.
It's a grind, but we're going to do it. And we'll see how it goes.
Yep. Kent, how are you surviving?
Yeah, it's first Thirsty Thursday of Dry January, and yeah, it's tempting. I'm thirsty.
We are.
These parts get this, man. A water.
Yeah.
But hey, we can do it. I'm sure we can figure it out. We'll take it a day at a time, and 1 weekend at a time, and
yeah. Just like Pitt is getting better in the off season, we're going to get better in the off season here a little bit.
Yeah.
We're going to get better and then get worse.
Yeah.
Much worse.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. So, not a lot of football news as far as Pitt goes. So let's go right into basketball.
Little hoops.
Pitt hoops. My question to you, Mason, is Pitt hoops back?
Cue the Sam Ehlinger video.
We're back.
We're back. No, they look. I mean, they're beating everybody. Undefeated in the ACC. Slow start to the season, but they've been on fire since. And the Panthers need to be ranked. It's about time.
I mean, so what? I think we covered the UNC win on the last episode.
Just because it happened. Yeah, it
happened the same day. Yeah. But on Tuesday, they upset number 11 Virginia, 68-65. Panthers are now 12-4, 4-0 in the ACC.
1 by 3 for Damar. They won by 3 for Damar.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
But yeah, this game was atrocious in the first half. I think we were down 10 going into halftime there, and down 10 to halftime against Virginia, it might as well be 30 the way that they play, because they're just not going to let you score. But I don't know what Capel said at halftime. I don't know what kind of fire he lighted, but they came out and scored 42 points, I believe. 45 points in the second half, and beat the 11th-ranked Cavaliers.
I mean, listen, maybe it's just the 6th-year bump at Pitt. I mean, Heather saw something. I mean, to think about this, football's got 20 wins over the last 2 seasons. Basketball might just be kind of back. All the Olympic sports are trending upwards. This is actually might be a sort of golden age in Pitt sports. Shout out Heather Lyke. First of all, Jeff Capel, apologies, weren't familiar with your game. Didn't really think you could do this. But holy shit, 45.5 against Virginia is unheard of.
Yeah. They a lot of teams will score that in a game against them.
Yeah.
Second half they really got out, ran the floor. They rebounded pretty well, got some turnovers. Just a great second half all around. They got to play their style of game, really speed up the Cavaliers. which, Virginia really just does not like to do. That's not how they play. First half, completely different story. It was kind of like that against UNC too, where Pitt really just flipped a switch in the second half, looked like a completely different team. If they can put together two good halves, I really think they can play with anybody. They do lack some depth down low. That's, one concern. If Hughley comes back, that can certainly help with that. But I think right now, they have enough scoring outside. They don't really need Hughley to dominate and score like he sometimes does. Yep. So I think I think the personnel with Federico in there actually works pretty well.
Did we lose Kent?
I think he finished with 8 and 11. I'll take that stat line any night from him.
Yeah, seriously. When you look at what Capel's done with where this team was at a year or two ago, after everything kind of got blown up, everybody transferred out.
Yeah.
To be this good already, is ridiculous. And yeah, it's a lot of transfers. A lot of them are going to be gone. But we're doing this without arguably our best player in Hughley. He wasn't great early this season, but he has the potential. And our best recruit, who we know what happened there. But this is a huge what if team still.
Right. This is a what if team if Hood Schifino stays committed. If X
stays,
and
who's balling for Indiana right now.
Trey and Tony all stay. If Champagne doesn't leave early, this timeline might have been shifted up.
Yeah.
And speaking of recruiting, there are some really good players coming in the next couple of years. There's a couple of 4-stars in the next class, and then Nelly Cummings' little brother just committed today.
Yeah, immediately. I think it was actually it was right after the game the other day, pretty much right after we beat Virginia. He was like, "All right, I'm in."
Yeah. So, it's exciting to see. 4-0 in the ACC is awesome. Especially preseason ranked. Projected to finish 14th in the ACC. So to start ACC play 4-0, and be the sole leader, up until last night when Clemson won. So we now play them for sole possession of first place in the ACC. So
yeah. And take this time, pause the show, fire a tweet out to the AP poll, and let them know we need to be ranked, because we got 0 votes on last week's poll. So that's
a crime.
Yeah.
Listen, and starting 4-0 in the ACC, doing it against some pretty good teams. NC State, who just upset Duke last night.
Yep.
Syracuse, always a good team. UNC, ranked 25th at the time. Virginia, ranked 11th. This was Pitt's first regulation win against the Cavaliers since the 1970s. All wins in that rest of that stretch were in overtime.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Talk about reversing the fucking narrative here.
Yeah.
As Kent said, we've got a battle with Clemson for sole possession of first coming up Saturday at 4 o'clock. We'll be tuned into that game. Followed up by a road trip to number 16 Duke, who, like we said, just got knocked off of their undefeated season by NC State, as well as Miami no longer being undefeated. They lost to Georgia Tech last night as well.
If Pitt wins these next 2 games, I'm going to be a heinous Pitt fan.
Oh my god! If we win these 2 games, give them a lifetime extension.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I will be untouchable. I will be talking all the college basketball shit. Nobody can say anything.
We can never die.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, if Pitt wins, I think honestly, whoever wins this game on Saturday might be ranked. In the next poll. I'm not sure if Clemson got any votes in the AP poll either, but
I don't
they're another surprise team. Actually, neither of us. I think they were projected to finish 10th in the ACC. So surprise start for both teams. A little preview going into Saturday. They definitely have more size just all around than we do. They got just more height. We probably have more speed. So I think we got to get out and run the floor. They're probably going to want to play more just half court sets against us. We got to force some turnovers, get rebounds, force some stops, and get out and run the floor
and play 2 halves.
Yeah,
they're clearly a very good second half team. They have to play 2 halves. But yeah, man, I mean, if you're 12-4, 5-0 in the ACC, even if it looks like sort of a down year where all the traditional powers aren't really sitting anywhere above 500 outside of Miami and Syracuse, fuck it, rank them. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. If they don't get votes in the next week poll and they win, that's a tragedy. And I mean, the Pete is. Are students back in classes yet?
No, they're not. But the Pete was still like.
The student section was loud, yeah.
It was.
It does kind of suck that all of our home games right now are like when students are not even back in school, because that means February we're going to be mostly on the road. So yeah, I would prefer to have our home games when students are back, but I'll take it. We're getting wins anyways. So.
Yeah. If Pitt Basketball has taught me anything, it's that the other shoe will always drop, and something will happen here, and we'll spiral. So I'm gonna make the most of this. We're playing good ball. Let's just keep balling out, and we'll see where it takes us. Let's ride the wave, baby.
I mean, they'll be back by the end of January, right? In classes.
Yeah.
So I mean, they've got
before that probably. I think like next couple weeks.
They'll have Florida State, Wake Forest, and Miami, Florida, who's another one of the top teams in the ACC. Yeah.
Clemson also allows a lot of 3-pointers, and Pitt's been a very good 3-point shooting team this year. So that also kind of works in our advantage.
I mean, I think they just got to let the guards not think and just let the basketball spirit consume them. Don't think.
Also, calling this right now, Greg Elliott is due for a bounce-back game. He's pretty much, he's potentially our best 3-point shooter. I think he shoots pretty much all threes. He went 1 of 7, against Virginia from 3. So he's due for a bounce-back game. I take his over in threes.
Can you even bet on that prop? I don't think you can.
You can bet on player props in this state here, but I don't know if you can bet on Greg Elliott threes prop or not.
We'll keep an eye.
If you can find it, take it.
Take over 3.5 threes from Greg Elliott.
Is that all right? That pretty much covers it, right? I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk college football playoff. So this is the best semifinals ever.
Yes.
Hands down. Without a doubt. Let me pull up the scores. I don't recall them off the top of my head. So, this is a couple days after, so you probably know the scores, but TCU and Georgia are advancing to the college football championship game. TCU's first appearance, Georgia's second in the playoff era. It'll be TCU's first chance for a title in God knows how many years. I'll look that up in a second. But where do you want to start? Do you want to go in chronological order for these games?
Yeah, let's do Michigan TCU first.
All right, Michigan TCU, the game that went off the rails and never actually got back on them.
Yep.
Holy shit! TCU ran the fuck out of the ball in this game against the Michigan defense.
Yeah.
They went up 14-0. They sort of held a commanding lead for most of the game. Now, in the fourth quarter, Michigan pulls to within 3 on a Roman Wilson 18-yard run on an end around and 2-pointer. But after that, Michigan sort of just stumbles again. TCU pulls away 51-45. I came away from this game thinking, one, J.J. McCarthy is not a top-level quarterback yet. They should have used his legs more in the running game. They used it a lot in the second half, and the quarterback run really threw a wrinkle in that I don't think TCU was prepared for or had the guys to. But as far as the rest of the game went, the 2 pick sixes obviously killed Michigan.
Yeah.
On very bad passes.
I think the first one definitely too, because that the last thing you want to do is give TCU life and hope. And that pick six was they were like, oh fuck, we're here. We can we're playing for this.
Especially after that god awful Philly special call that no one really ran a route on.
Yeah. They drive the whole way down and then nothing. Yeah.
But I mean, goddamn, the lines in this game, TCU won on both sides of the ball. I mean, if we go to the box score, right, I think TCU ran for 300 yards in this game. They ran for 263. And Michigan only ran for 186. That is impressive.
Yeah, they ran the ball so well that they made Michigan play a Big 12 game. and throw the ball all over the place.
Yeah, they got Michigan out of their comfort zone really fast, and it showed.
Yeah.
So
Another huge swing was that, and kind of controversial, was that first non-touchdown that Michigan scored.
that's a big what if play. Yeah,
You catch the ball on the 1 yard line, basically. They called him in originally and then brought it back out, and then they fumble on the very next play when they're trying to do a sneak or a dive play.
they did a fullback dive to like the converted linebacker to running back. Like that's just a personnel issue. You shouldn't be handing the ball off to him in that situation.
Yeah.
Run a sneak.
Yeah. Harbaugh got cute.
He got real cute. I mean, listen, it's props to Michigan for coming back into this game after being down 34-16 in the third. That was impressive, but the defense definitely failed Michigan when they needed it most. Just props to TCU, man. Sonny Dykes in year one has them fucking playing in the national title.
Yeah.
If you told me TCU being the title game this year, I wouldn't believe you.
If you told me that TCU was going to win the Big 12, I probably wouldn't have believed you at the beginning of the season.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I mean, sort of like I was saying with Pitt Basketball, we're waiting for the other shoe to drop. It finally dropped in the Big 12 championship game when they lost in overtime. And they come back out and just dominate Michigan in the trenches. And that was I think that's one of the biggest stories of the game is that TCU outplayed Michigan in the trenches. And that shouldn't happen.
Yeah.
Especially, the Michigan defense versus on either side of the ball, but Sonny Dykes had those guys schemed up. Michigan was running like a very light box to try and prevent pitch and catch stuff, and they just ran all day on it. They had 5 men in the box, and they said, "Yeah,
take what they're given."
Yep,
take what they're given.
I mean, listen, Michigan they might be. I think they'll be back. JJ McCarthy will get better. Have you seen the Harbaugh to the NFL rumors?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was talking to the Panthers GM or owners.
I've heard that he might be looking at the Colts, but I don't know.
Wait, you're telling me Jeff Saturday's going to be fired?
They play on Sundays, man.
That would be.
Thibodeau doesn't know who that is.
yeah. That was a crazy quote as he's doing his snow angels next to Nick Foles' dead body. Dude, I mean, Harbaugh would be a great NFL coach. He'd probably get a bag somewhere. He's done it before. You don't have to recruit all year.
Yeah.
There were rumors last year, though, when he stayed. So I don't know how much merit there is to it. But
I wouldn't mind if the Ravens let John go and got Jim.
All right. I mean, I think I see it both ways. I think he has unfinished business as far as the NFL goes. He got so close to winning a Super Bowl and didn't. He's stated that the Super Bowl is one of his biggest goals, but also he could also just be looking for a new contract.
Yeah,
because his contract was between his last agent and the AD, so it could be he could just be playing with that. I think that's
well. This also happened last year. He was, they were really thinking he was going to leave last year, and then he stayed. And I think it's just going to continuously be a yearly thing. If he keeps staying. So
I think last year was a little different because I think the Vikings job was his until it just wasn't at the last second, and he came back. But I don't know. I mean, we're talking about Jim Harbaugh when we should be giving props to Max Duggan,
Dog.
What's their running back's name? I don't know their first name, but Amari DeMercado. He was, I think, their third string running back coming into the start of the season. He ran for $160 on Michigan. Sorry, $150 on Michigan and touchdown. I mean, TCU was averaging 10 yards a play in this game. Good God. And
big day for JJ McCarthy's dad also.
Big day for the cameras on players' families.
I can't remember. That's JJ McCarthy's girlfriend. That his dad was
JJ McCarthy's dad was touching JJ McCarthy's girlfriend.
Yeah.
That's the awkward family dinner next time they're all home. Jeez. All right, well, congrats TCU, Michigan, good season. Hopefully it continues. Let's go to the night game. Ohio State versus Georgia for the other side. Georgia wins this one. It was 46-45?
It was 40.
42-41. It was close. All right, now, big play in this game. I thought this game wasn't going to be as close as it was. I thought Ohio State did not have what it takes to go against this Georgia defense, but shit, they came out playing. The thing is, though, they blew 2 leads in this game. They blow a 21-7 lead, and then they blow a 38-24 lead.
It's, it sucks. It's a kind of one thing to do it one time. When you blow 2 leads in a game, that's just as about deflating as you can get for a program.
Especially like thinking about the Michigan game too, where they had like I think a 2-score lead at some point in the first half, and then they just kind of shut down. Man, I think there's something to be looked at as far as the struggles of Ohio State to sort of maintain a lead in these big games over the last couple of years. But I mean, hell, they gave Georgia their best shot, but Georgia took it anyway. And obviously, one of the biggest plays of this game, and I want to talk to you guys about it, is the missed field goal by Noah Ruggles at the very end of the game to let Georgia into the national title. He had never hit a field goal from 50 or more yards, and this is a 50-yard field goal, and he booed. He just shanked it.
Yeah.
So
that's
I think it was a bad call. It was a bad call to play for a field goal that long.
Yeah, it's true. And I mean, like a kicker who hasn't really been in the spotlight, like if he hasn't made
not a lot of pressure kicks for Ruggles.
Yes, that's what I'm trying. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. And this was like about as much pressure as you can get with a kick.
100%. Send you to the championship.
Yeah.
The only one more pressure is if they were in the championship. It was for everything.
Right. Looked like some nerves. Looked like a little bit of fear of the moment, which I'm not knocking the guy because I probably would too.
Yeah.
If I was going for my career long with 2 seconds left. But yeah, it was. I mean, you can't ask for anything better of a game than what was going on here.
Yeah.
And the ending was it was crazy because it was literally happening at midnight for some people.
On the East Coast, I believe he kicked the ball as soon as the new year hit.
Yeah. And there was like the call was really cool because they're like, he missed the kick. It's midnight. Like, it's pure chaos. It was like you couldn't script a crazier ending. Everything was going on at once. It was just the epitome of New Year's Eve college football.
New Year's Eve must have sucked in Ohio.
Yeah.
Ball drops, balloons drop everywhere, and you lost the semifinal.
Yeah. Yeah, how do you... That's tough. That is tough.
I mean, I don't know, man. This is... Obviously, it was a good game for Ohio State. They really gave everything they had. I wanted to... There was one other big play in this game. That's the no call and the targeting on Marvin Harrison.
In the back of the end zone.
Back of the end zone. I think they settled for a field goal right after that. It seems that the refs this year were pretty apt to shy away from calling targeting in both of these games.
Yeah.
Because there were a couple of calls, like, in both games that we thought should have been pretty clear targeting. They just weren't. So we're back to nobody knowing what targeting is again, apparently.
Mm-hmm. It's so subjective. And it almost felt like, too, like they were just kind of like, oh, well, I don't want this targeting call to be a deciding factor in the game, and like have a kid ejected from the College Football Playoff, which
but it's a deciding factor either way.
Yeah,
like it's the no call or the call. They're both going to swing the game, especially this late in the game, right? If they score a touchdown, they're up 10 with 3 minutes left. They're probably advanced to the national title.
Yeah.
So something's got to be done about this rule because
targeting has been bad. It is bad. It probably will continue to be one of those that you just never know what to expect.
It's roughing the passer in the NFL. No one knows what it is, and it's always bad.
Yep. It was, yeah. I mean, the counter to that is don't let the refs have to make that decision. You know what I mean? Don't play better.
Right. Yeah.
If you play better, that doesn't matter.
Yeah. Simply be better. Make the kick.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's always tough when it comes down to something like that.
Mm-hmm. All right. Anything else on this game? No.
All
right. Let's pick national title. TCU Michigan. The line is out. It's already a 2-score line. I believe last I saw was Georgia was favored by 13. I don't think it's going to be a one-sided game. If we've seen anything from these two playoff games, it seems like there really isn't a lot separating the top from the top of the sport from the other top teams. TCU's put themselves in that echelon this year. They've got some sort of black magic going on where they just win games. They're always in games. Personally, I think I'm just going to take TCU completely on a vibes pick. No football knowledge. If Sonny Dice can scheme up the Michigan defense, he's going to have something for Georgia. And I think Georgia will be able to score here, but TCU gets one of those stops. They get one of those turnovers they did against J.J. McCarthy. It's their title to win.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, 13 and a half is that's a lot of points.
It's a lot of points.
It's a lot of points. And it'll be a very similar game plan to what Michigan was doing. Georgia's bigger, faster. They're going to try to just play a little bit of bully ball, but TCU just did that last week and came out on top. So it's really hard to bet against those guys. But yeah, I'll probably take TCU to cover. I do think that Georgia will win. I almost feel like that line too is kind of like all the juice was in the semifinal games, and they're like, all right, we're due for a stinker. Like Georgia's going to come out and show everybody why they're the best team in the country 2 years in a row. First time you win back to back since Alabama in 11 and 12. Right?
That sounds right, yeah.
I think. So I could see it going either way. But damn, I want TCU to be in it. I want them to win. I want Hypnotoads to rain from the sky. I want it all.
I think the big X factor here is going to be the TCU run game. If they can run like they did on Michigan, which is a totally different task with the freak athletes Georgia has in their front seven, that's the kind of X factor, but Ohio State showed that you can pretty much just throw on them. And C.J. Stroud was running. He had a couple big runs in that game. Max Duggan, probably not as athletic as C.J. Stroud, but he can run.
Yeah, he'll get the job done.
Oh, sorry, Ken. Who's your pick?
Yeah, no, I fully agree with everything Mason said. Actually, I think I'll probably end up taking TCU spread. That is a lot of points, but I also think we're spoiled in the semifinals, and I think we may or may not be due for a stinker. I could see this going either way, being very close, or Georgia just blowing them out of the water.
Yeah, it might be one of those games where I take TCU plus 13.5 and then bet Georgia alt line 20 plus points or something like that to see if we can get the odds down a little bit, just to kind of cover that side of the if this happens in that game.
Yeah, not a bad idea. But yeah, I think I really want to pick TCU.
I was gonna say, are we all rooting for the Horned Frogs at least?
I'm rooting for TCU.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
I was gonna say, I feel like 90% of the country is probably going to be up on them unless you're from Georgia.
You're rooting for something new, right? I mean, if
Yeah.
TCU wins this game, it's almost good for the sport because a non-blue blood traditional power has just won the College Football Playoff. It'll be the first time that the CFP has produced what it was supposed to, which is more teams getting a chance. Mm-hmm. If TCU takes the chance and seizes it, it's just good for the game, and I think it just bodes well for when they do expand the playoff.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure. Everybody loves an underdog, but everything you just said is also true.
Yeah. Side note about the semifinal games, TCU's unis were clean as hell.
Oh my god!
Some of the best. It was great to see some purple in there. They were iced. They were all white.
The little silver diamonds they have around the neck are so good.
Yeah.
So
chrome.
good.
I think they the chrome purple face mask on. It was pretty cool.
Also, they have this kind of retro logo where it's it's almost like their version of the Dino Cat, but it looks good. Super angled frog, but it was all chrome. It was beautiful uniforms.
Yeah, it was super cool. But yeah, I'm really excited for this game just because of TCU.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I'm excited for. Someone different.
It's someone different. It's two great teams that have been playing pretty much at their peak, more or less the whole season. I think we're just in for a treat, in for a banger of a game. And I don't think there's much more that you can ask for from the College Football Championship.
Yeah.
All right. With that, Let's go Horned Frogs. All hail the Hypno-Toad. And thank you for listening to Simplify Podcast. I've been your host, Zach Kaminsky. I'm joined by my wonderful co-hosts, Mason Kling and Kent Vanderwood. If you like the show, make sure to subscribe. Follow us on Twitter at SimplifyPod. And with that, we'll see you next week.
Hail to Pitt.
Love you, Damar.